on a new adventure.
Now, we all remember last time. Previously, they helped with the Jewel Head people. Vulcan Skull became police officer. Well, they were going to join the police force.
Yes.
The Zords blew up, which they're powerless. They went on the Trek thing, and they got their animal things.
Yes.
Kat joined the team after being bad.
Bum, bum, bum.
Tommy saved Kim from Lord Zed. It's the only time they ever fought. And then we ended on the gold armor. Which was glitter. At its finest.
Ninja arrives at the command center and updates the...
Why?
Because it's fun.
What?
It's not fun at all.
It's all Chase's fault.
It's the plate.
Ninja arrives at the command center and updates the Rangers about Master Vile's hope to get the Zeo Crystal. Thousands of years ago, the people of N51 hid the Zeo Crystal in the Caves of Deception and put a defense shield around it so that only those with good and pure hearts could ever touch it. The caves lie directly beneath Rita and Zed's palace. Why? Well, as it turns out, Zed didn't actually build the palace. It was once a fortress for good. And while the palace has been corrupted by evil over the years, the defense shield for the Zeo Crystal remains intact. While Zordon is confident that Zed and Rita can't get to the crystal, because of Master Vile's own power and experience, they fear he could gain access. Made worse is the revelation that the Zeo Crystal gets more powerful over time. So basically, it's a perpetual energy generator. God damn, this MacGuffin is awesome. Imagine if the Rangers actually had access to a power source like that. But nah, they never do that. Master Vile creates a new monster by, throwing up an egg.
Okay.
Ew. The blue globber monster, however, is pretty dang strong, able to absorb power. He also feeds the Tengas some food that increases their own strength, but that just gives them an opportunity for the Rangers to show off their new glitter armor. The Globber manages to kidnap Ninjor again and absorbs his powers. In order to keep Master Vile from ever getting access to the Zeo Crystal, Tommy and Kat travel to Zed's palace so they can destroy it. The plan is for Tommy to go into the Caves of Deception and get the Zeo Crystal, while Kat distracts Rita and Zed by claiming that she wants to be evil again.
You know they can blow you up
Billy has
without a
whipped up
thought,
toy
right?
Falconzord that will allow them to control the Ninja Megazord remotely without the real Falconzord. The Globber attacks the city, and the rest of the Rangers engage it with both the Shogun Zords and the Ninja Zords. The Globber is, of course, attacking abandoned buildings, since Angel Grove's economy is in such a poor state thanks to all of its constant karate tournaments and community cleanups, as opposed to any actual businesses beyond a juice bar. Plus, the general apathy of its citizenry last time makes me believe that the mayor of Angel Grove only wins with a few
it's just a high
votes
school.
It's an election year. The Shogun Zord's power is absorbed by the Globber, and the Rangers are forced to retreat into the Ninja Megazord. Zed watches Vile succeeding against the Rangers, and is naturally pissed off that after all his plans have failed, he's getting one-upped by a guy who creates monsters by vomiting up eggs. Kat arrives and tells them she wants to be evil again. To prove that she's serious about being evil, she's forced into the Revilifier, a device that will drain all the good from someone and replaces it with pure evil.
Pure evil.
Naturally, a very useful device like this will never be seen or mentioned again, just like the Zeo Crystal, no doubt.
got my
Speaking
feet.
of, Tommy goes down to the caves to get the crystal, since the Zeo Crystal can also be used to reverse.
He stepped in the good of fire.
Made
Made himself super good.
Spud isn't worried because
Super duper good.
There you go.
should also destroy Tommy because he was formerly evil himself. The Cave of Deceptions lives up to his name as Tommy fights off several hallucinations and makes his way towards
I didn't do LSD this
Force
was
even taunting him a little until he reaches it. The crystal does analyze him, and while at first harms him because of his evil beginnings, it does finally read the good part of him and allows him to take it. Tommy frees Cat as well as the Falcon Zord, teleporting away. However, things aren't going well for the other Rangers.
Gotcha.
While the Falcon Zord
Gotcha,
does help things, the Globber survives the finishing move of the Ninja Mega Falcon Zord and incorporates parts of Ninjor into itself. The Shogun Megazord's
What's his
power
last
starts to
line?
restore, aiding in the fight. However, because the monster is tied into Ninjor, he feels the attacks inflicted on the monster. The Rangers fear defending themselves, and the Zords fall. Their energy fully absorbed by the Globber, and the Zord being sent away somewhere. The Globber proceeds to absorb even more of their power, and not even their magic glitter can help them.
Oh,
With the
no.
Zords down, Vile is able to take the Zeo Crystal while the Rangers retreat back to the command center. The rest of the evil forces celebrate, though Zed mopes about the fact that Vile succeeded where he failed. Vile, being the notoriously evil force that he is, commandeers the juice bar so that he can throw a party. This is just surreal.
Reno, Remoto, Party King and Dance is full. Let's mumble. Dance, humans, dance. Is this thing working?
Zordon
Is that even a microphone? Looks like that thing Jabba the Hutt ate.
Power, but it'll take some time for them to fully return. Half the team goes to check out the party, since, hey, evil forces are throwing a party and you might as well enjoy, while the others work on trying to locate where Vile sent the Zords. And indeed, they discover that the Zords were sent to the N51 galaxy, and the Rangers teleport there, because not only can they be sent to different planets, apparently it's just a hop and skip to another galaxy to try to free the Zords and destroy the Zeo Crystal. Once inside, the Rangers use their power coins to break Vile's link to the crystal and restore power to the Zords.
wrong
returning them to
coins.
Earth. The Globber mutates even further using the power he stole from the Zords, but the Rangers decide they have to risk harming Ninjor by finally defeating it. Ninjor manages to restore his own power and he escapes, joining the Rangers to fight both Globber and Master Vile. This battle is friggin' epic. Multiple Zords and monsters, plus a new configuration for the Zords, as the Falcon Zord joins with the Shogun Megazord to blast Master Vile.
You know, the
While
Shogun
Vile
Mega Falcon
survives
Zord.
the assault, he retreats and decides to stick around to help defeat the Rangers in his awesome skull spaceship. The Rangers decide to break the
somebody-
crystal into pieces and scatter them throughout time so that Vile can never get them. And so we'll never see it again. While the metallic armor crap was
really?
stupid, this was a pretty solid three-parter, resolving or referencing several past storylines while starting the one that would end the season. There was one more filler episode between this and the next multi-parter, and really its only purpose is to once again remind us of Bulk and Skull's musical talent.
1, 2, 3.
See? They rock so hard.
Oh,
they
the sound
blow
of
up their own
Discordia,
equipment. Vile's next plan is to use a mystical orb, the Orb of
Yes, I
Doom,
know the title of that
forces
episode.
really suck at naming things, to reverse the Earth's rotation and make it spin back in time.
It's the only one where they use the toys, the Shogun Mega whatever, and put it on Titanus, who technically should be dead.
Using the same kind of bogus science from the first Superman movie when it comes to Earth's rotation, somehow meaning something when it comes to time. Zed, of course, points out that he's done this plan already and it failed, but that doesn't discourage Master Vile. The Rangers are too late to stop the Orb of Doom from being planted, and time reverses, reverting the Rangers to children as before. Unlike last time, however, they retain their memories of being Power Rangers, but they can't morph. In the wake of their apparent victory, Zed, Rita, Goldar, and Guido arrive on the planet and grow, attacking the city themselves.
Look at this, Angel
Now,
Grove.
that some people have called a mini-series because the theme song changes, the Shout Factory DVD even separates it into its own case, but really, it still counts as part of Season 3, the Alien Rangers saga. The kids are unable to contact Zordon and try to reach the command center on foot. However,
So it's
before
not
that,
teenagers'
we get a
attitude.
series of antics involving the kids getting taken in by the police to protect them, And all I can say is that I'm still in shock that the city has any cops. Oh, and get this.
This was
the command
in
center
time.
has been out of power because it's been returned to an earlier point in time along with the world. And it turns out the power was shut off because the console was unplugged at the time so they could use a vacuum cleaner. I'm dead serious.
All this time, our power outage has been due not to a sinister force, but to a simple household appliance. Is that true?
I'm afraid so, Zordon.
Deactivate now.
I'm starting work on Alpha 6. You know, it's not every TV show that can alternate between giant...
What are we up to,
evil
9
forces
now?
...annihilating a city and the antics of a subpar 50s sitcom. No wonder Zordon can be an asshole sometimes when this sort of crap is going on. Anyway, with power restored, the kids are retrieved and they hatch a plan. While the Rangers lack their powers, they're not the only
Because he looks
Power
like a chicken?
Rangers. They send out a distress call to the Rangers from the planet Aquitar, an ocean world where...
Hey, remember Edenoi? When Dex needed our help, we were there.
Wait, Edenoi? What the hell? That wasn't wiped from canon? If it hasn't, then where the hell is Count Dragon during all this crap? Ah, whatever. Anyway, they contact the ocean world Aquitar, where there are alien rangers who also got their powers from Ninjor. The Equitians answer the call and come to help. The alien rangers have some of the most annoying voices ever, with some kind of weird filter effect to simulate them as they would speak underwater, yet they use it even when out of the water. Which
Yes, we can help you.
We are at our disposal at a moment's notice.
I'm Duffy, leader of the Alien Rangers. This is Focus.
Maybe that's just how you hear it.
Antagonist.
Here, drink
While
this
it
red
is
juice.
irritating, considering it's a temporary arrangement, it's ultimately fine. Just that with
That's an
the
Ant-Man
back of it.
reference.
The alien rangers
thought she
bring
was
their own
it's a hurricane.
Ninjor, which raises the question of how exactly Ninjor was a legend according to Zordon, when apparently other rangers knew him already. Ninjor is also absent for the rest of the series, sadly, explaining that they won't discover the temple for several years. Except this brings up the biggest problem of this storyline, the time travel aspect. I will grant the fact that the Rangers retain their memories, since the morphing grid or their powers
The
in general
Zords?
could have preserved their knowledge, except then, why can't they access their powers? Zordon and Alpha could have been preserved from the time travel effects because of the protections of the command center, except the command center itself apparently returned to an earlier point of development, hence the whole vacuum cleaner crap. Ninjor can't come and help because time has moved to before they ever found him, except the Equitians have access to the Shogun Zords despite them not being discovered for several more years.
Is anybody else's ears bleeding yet?
Problematic later when one of the teams is restored to their proper age.
Oh, it's the thing from
Not anyone else.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Just kill you.
But not anyone else, raising the question of the Rangers' families. Since
They're
obviously
dead.
preteens are going to be under more supervision than the teens, yet they seem to spend a lot more of their time in the
No,
command
we went
center.
backwards.
What's worse, 5 of the Rangers should not even be here, since Kat is Australian and had just moved to Angel Grove, and Adam, Rocky, and Aisha moved from Stone
Canyon,
last
and then
season.
Tommy.
Tommy was a new kid in season 1, implying that he wasn't from the city either. Another way to try to write this stuff off is that it's not actually time travel, but a spell. It would certainly fit with the aesthetic of the villains anyway, since Master Vile himself seems to have more mystical knowledge than even Rita or Zed. The spell hasn't actually moved anything through time, but progressed the world to a
Here.
younger state, which would help explain why the citizens of Angel Grove wouldn't have already heard of the Equitians when the actual Power Rangers came around. Hell, when the world is restored to normal, we see Bulk and Skull lose the memory of these events, so again, not so much time travel as much as just age manipulation through magics. The Alien Ranger saga
Magics.
itself was actually a pretty clever
When I
way
count
of
to 3, you won't
incorporating
remember any
Sentai
of this.
footage into the show. As you can probably guess, the silk
1,
footage comes from
2,
Kamen Ranger, which was
3.
Ninja Beast. However, despite them clearly being multicolored ninjas like this, I will admit that as a kid, I was completely fooled. That's primarily because,
Now, Dan.
like
What
I
did I get
mentioned
wrong
before
there?
about the Die
Nothing.
Ranger suits being a radical
So we know.
departure from the expected suit design, this is a similar deal. Very little
Haha.
Ah.
So, Cordio Sentai Zero Ranger is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Okay.
Die Ranger is
Next one.
Season 2. Thank you, with the Thunder Zords. Kaku Ranger is...
Season 3.
Which is the Shogun Zord, the Falcon Zord, the Ninjor. Those were the suits.
Oh.
So the Aquatar Rangers, they have their whole 40 to 45 episode season. And they use like 10 episodes worth of footage.
Okay.
Bells on the helmets, a lightning bolt insignia off center, and most memorable for me at least, the visors. The visors on the helmets are much smaller than on the Mighty Morphin suits, without even an animal shape around it. Compared to the Mighty
And what
Morphin
they're doing
suits,
here...
they look, for lack of a better term,
It doesn't
alien.
matter. It doesn't
The
matter.
downside of the Equations coming to Earth, however, is that they require hydration to sustain themselves.
I need to
They
get
often
crunk.
travel to fresh water sources in public to rejuvenate themselves. Where they
Here's Little John off screen.
Master Vile assembles monsters from throughout the universe to launch a final assault on Earth, or rather, mostly suits used in previous monster fights.
That's
However,
gotta
the
be a
alien Rangers
mask
are
from
more
that
than a match for
movie.
them.
Oh, probably.
In the wake of his latest defeat, Master Vile decides to return to his home galaxy. Say what you will about Zed and Rita, at least they're persistent.
Yeah.
Wasn't this around the time where like Ernest Scared Stupid came out and stuff like that? Well, no, they reused Killer Clown's masks and suits and all that for that too.
Vile gave up only after a few episodes. Lord Zed expresses his happiness about being in charge again with his expected level of restraint and subtlety.
Yes! I never thought I would be happy to see the good equals triumph, but Yoda, I am very...
Look, can't spell happy with happiness without a penis.
Losing Master Vile may have been for the best for the villains, since they then score probably one of the biggest victories ever in the series. Billy and the Equations develop a device utilizing the Rangers' power coins to restore them to their proper ages. They test it on Billy and return him to normal, causing the aforementioned issue of what the hell do Billy's parents think of this? That's never brought up. But an attack by Rito and Goldar stops them from restoring the others. Instead of doing the sensible thing and teleporting back to the command center, they run
They're
off
dead.
and get cornered. The villains take the regenerator and the power coins, and for once, they waste no time. Zed and Rita annihilate the power coins, reducing them to dust. So, once again, the Rangers are screwed. Eventually, Zed sends Rito and Goldar to the tunnels beneath the command center to plant a bomb to finally blow it up. Remember, the command center has been standing for thousands of years, but has been in various states of construction, as we saw on Wild West Rangers, so there's previous infrastructure that has been built on top of, which means it's also a weak point in the command center's defenses. Zordon's been busy as well, and has finally come up with a plan to restore the world to normal, as well as give the Rangers new powers. He plans to use
come at me,
the
bro.
Morphin crystal.
That's right.
Wait a second. The Zeo crystal? You mean it actually has some significance?
No.
Yes, in a brilliant move, the writers established the Zeo crystal early so the viewers knew what they were talking about, and are going to use it to set up the next season. The 5 unrestored kids will be sent through time to locate their own Zeo
The 5 unrestored
and return
kids.
them to the command center. For some reason, the Zeo crystals have locked onto each of the Rangers' heritage and ancestry,
to go into
and
that.
thus they must overcome personal issues, blah blah blah, heart of the cards. The season comes to a close in the 2-part Hog Day afternoon.
like Luke
Rita and
Skywalker
Zed
fighting
summon
himself.
their official
Yeah.
avatar named Hydro Hog to deal with the alien Rangers. Meanwhile, Goldar and Rito, after several
like one of the,
episodes of wandering around
creatures
the
from
tunnels
Dinosaur.
under the command center, finally
Yeah,
are
just like Majin Buu.
on the front. Rita instructs them to steal the Zeo crystal once it's assembled. Aisha, during her quest, decides
Died.
to stay in the alternate time period to help the animals suffering from a plague with her veterinary skills, established earlier in the season, while letting a local girl
Doc
named
McStuffin.
Tanya take her part of the Zeo crystal back to the Rangers.
take
It's
care
a
of
major
you.
disappointment to see her character kind of shoved aside like this without even letting the actual actress for Aisha have a proper send-off.
She came back
Typically,
30
the
years later, it's fine.
storyline, while Aisha's last episode got her at a carnival. Well, actually, I suppose that could have been worse then. Apparently, Karen Ashley was told that she'd get a proper goodbye scene with everyone else, but that never ended up happening.
Rude.
Hydro Hog, since he's the equivalent of
That's how you
Zed
keep him
Rita,
quiet.
is actually pretty damn powerful, to the point where he actually stops the Shogun Zord's finishing move. However, that reaches an anticlimax when they use the Shogun Mega Falcon Zord to defeat him. I don't know if it completely destroys him or just sends him home, but hey, it resolves the episode. Of course, leaving Aisha where she is screws with the time stream a bit, but whatever.
Aisha, your decision to remain has altered the course of your family's history. and you will find that they have joined you when the world is returned to the future.
That does not even begin to make sense.
What?
Nope.
Not even with my speculation.
They'll do
about
what?
how it works. The Zeo
I'm gonna cut to the Hulk explaining time and Endgame.
crystal is fully reassembled and the time stream is returned to normal, bringing everyone back to their proper ages, including Tanya. They bid farewell to the Equation
Turn it back, turn it
Rangers
back, turn it
and
back.
celebrate being back to normal. Alpha and Zordon talking to Tanya to get her acclimated to the new time period. However, their victory is short-lived. Goldar and Rito immediately come up from under the command center, swipe the Zeo crystal, and teleport away. The bomb goes off, causing the command center to start exploding. Billy tries to help
everybody
protect
dies.
things, but he gets a face full of energy.
Remember this.
And Alpha teleports the Rangers out of the command center to save them. And so the season, along with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, ends with the command center blowing up. Season 3 is where the magic versus technology theme that I theorized about starts to shift, partially due to the nature of their new powers. Instead of Billy creating new devices all the time to save the day against the spells of the villains, more and more the show builds a mythology of ancient powers to call upon. The ninja powers are a more spiritual force than what they had before, and the quest for the Zeo Crystal by the various Rangers tends to be more about a test of character than anything else. Billy still uses many devices to combat Rita and Zed, but a lot of them are focused near the end of the season when he's trying to devise various ways to keep the alien Rangers hydrated, or earlier when he used devices to rescue Kimberly or the force field to protect Kat. And the thing to note, though, is that the tech more often than not fails. I read it as a sign that it's time for them to move beyond the dynamic they had before. Season 3 is arguably the best of the three in terms of writing. There were far fewer sillier episodes than the first two seasons, with both Kimberly's departure and the Alien Ranger saga being serialized. The storylines, while occasionally delving into the realms of the goofy, were pretty strong and were great at keeping the viewer's attention.
All right.
Some have complained that the season contained
That's
far too
definitely a
many
thing.
multi-parters and that the changing status quo was a turn-off, but
don't
personally
remember that.
I liked it. There was enough filler for a status quo to actually exist at times, but not so many that the season would get dull. People have said that when Rita and Zed got married, it ruined Lord Zed, basically turning him into a second banana loser that often took the backseat to other villains. However, I have to vehemently disagree. The truth is, well, Lord
like
Zed
looking way
was
up
starting
here.
to suck at his job.
North Pole.
Don't get me
Santa
wrong, he was still
sucks.
menacing as before, but he was falling into the same rut that Rita had fallen into. He would make a monster, send it out, and it'd be defeated in 10 minutes. The truth was that as time went on, he was simply not succeeding as a villain. But then Rita and Zed got married. Now, while Zed's personality did change a bit, it wasn't really all that different. He was still angry at failure, and their strategies against the Rangers became more elaborate, though with the occasional stupid one that always crops up when you're trying to come up with plans on a weekly basis to eliminate your enemies. However, despite him cracking a few more jokes and acting in a slightly more silly manner in his gesticulations, he was still scary
And his
and
what?
powerful. And
Gesticulations.
really,
Thank you.
successes while he worked solo. He destroyed the Green Ranger powers. Okay, fair enough. But what happened when he married Rita? They destroyed the original Zords and powers, destroyed the new powers, although whether that destroyed the Ninja Zords is unclear, and the fate of the Shogun Zords is unknown, entered the command center, and almost killed Kimberly, for that matter, blew up the command center, took Ninjor prisoner, and later helped destroy the Machine Empire. I hate to say it, people, but Zed was better off with Rita than without her. In one episode, Goldar discovers the truth about how Rita got Zed to marry her, and gets
The
Spencer
potion
to
number
create an antidote.
9.
However, when he tries to use it, it does nothing. It
trap.
could be that Finster didn't actually give an antidote, but the implication of the episode is that Zed actually does love Rita. Which kind of makes sense, considering, as we saw last season, his ideal mate is Rita. Bulk and Skull
He's still
are
my beating
demonstrating
heart.
more of a sense of responsibility and morality in the season. Yes, they do bumble around quite a bit and still verbally make fun of the teens, but here they actually start caring about what they're doing. For example, in one episode, they mock an inscription on a lamp owned by Adam, but when they almost damage this family heirloom, they show genuine concern about their actions. While some of the time it's simply fear of retribution from Lieutenant
Could
Stone,
you lose the-
other times it looks like they actually care about helping people now that they're in a position of authority. For example, there's this really inspired bit where they spot what looks like a group of kids drowning.
I remember this.
Hold on, kids. We'll save you.
Dun, 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 dun. Ga, 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 ga. Are they going to jail now? What the hell?
Like, what's the music for Baywatch?
When Kimberly's car is stolen, they happily try to help recover it. Their relationship to the teens is radically different. The teens support them when they decide to join the junior police force and actually admit at several points that they're friends. Sure, they're not hanging out together, but there's no longer antagonism.
You can't come to the caves with us.
Bulk and
But...
Skull can see them as dorks while not being jerks to them any longer. Plus, while they remain ineffective, we do see a couple of occasions where the two actually kind of triumph, like catching the car thief from Follow That Cab. There are a lot of good Bulk and Skull bits this season, including their training to become junior police officers, along with a catchy tune called Shape It Up.
If you want to be a cop, then you got to get in shape. Gotta jump a 6-foot wall. Gotta swim a giant lake. Shape it up, Bulk and Skull. Shape it up, shape it up, shape it up, Bulk and Skull.
Unfortunately, the song has never been released on its own, so there isn't any clean copy of it anywhere.
That's not the only song.
Full version. During the Alien
Tango Bye Bye.
versions of the two reverted back to how they were in season 1. Idiots and bullies,
had my homies.
which really showed off how much they changed over the course of these few seasons.
Parents will thank us. Kids will love us. Lieutenant Stone will promote us.
Those weren't sound effects. That was Jones in the background.
Adding Lieutenant Stone, the police officer who trains them, created some new dynamics to their situations. Most of the time, they fail miserably in his eyes, but
That's
you've got to give them credit for trying and
so
wanting to do
disgusting.
well. Stone himself doesn't really get much in terms of development, but that's
But they're wearing gloves.
Those gloves aren't going to help you, bud.
It's especially interesting to see
We're making
how Skull
sandwiches.
respected an authority figure to such a degree. While they may have joined the force to attract women, they don't really pursue that goal after they complete their training. They care more about earning Lieutenant Stone's respect. Lieutenant Stone would remain a part of the secondary cast through Turbo, for better or worse.
Oh, the orgy's this way.
With their character development. But that's something we can get into next time. Overall, Season 3 is great, and it brought a fantastic conclusion to the Mighty Morphin era, with a proper season finale and a cliffhanger to boot. Next time, the most radical change to the franchise yet, as we go Zeo.
You mean that crystal thing?
Yep.
Yeah.